Hello, my name is Matthew,
Hi, my name is Melissa.
and we're with the Tampa Hillsborough County Public Library. Thank you very much for joining us tonight for Parent Connect. This is the middle and high school edition. We just did the pre-K and elementary school edition yesterday. It is Wednesday, January 20th of 2021, and you see our URL down there to see all of our upcoming events, hcplc.org/events. We'll throw that up on the screen at the end of the session as well. Tonight, you're going to see a demonstration of a couple of resources that are great for parents of high schoolers and middle schoolers. And so there's also a couple chances to participate, and we'll explain those as we go along. We'll just do a brief demo at the top, and then we'll get into the meetup part of this event. So now let's get it started with our shout out. Oh, is that me? Okay, great. We can do this. So our book shout out for tonight is The Busy Parent's Guide to Managing Technology, which is, I think, very perfect for the year that we've all had trying to manage technology solutions. But for this one, it is actually for in children and teens is the rest of that title. And it starts there with that great question: how does tech impact our kids' mental health and physical well-being? Of course, everything is all about balance, right? So you find out what goes on in children's minds, how their brains work when they're using really immersed in technology, which they really are all the time. And you can come to understand the quickly developing research area on this topic and what you can do about it. And I think we have a link for that staff list, right, Melissa? Are we posting that now or later?
Yes, Matthew, I'm posting that in the chat so that you guys can go ahead and check that out later. It's a really great list, so please click on that as time permits.
Please do, yeah. And this, as well as all the other books on that list, are available through our library. You can go to hcplc.org/books, check it out for free. A lot of them are available as ebooks as well. And without further delay, I'm going to kick this over to Melissa.
Okay, thank you, Matthew. Let's go ahead, guys, and see a little bit about some resources for you all. So a real quick demonstration that I'd like to do for you is about Worldbook. Worldbook has resources for middle schoolers and high schoolers. In fact, it also has resources for early literacy. So I'm going to take myself off camera so that you guys can see a little bit the demonstration of this powerful tool that your library card lets you access. All right. So
and hey, Melissa, I forgot to ask, do we want to go ahead and launch that poll?
Oh, sure. So so that we know what we would like to show you guys, a student version or advanced version, I'm going to launch a poll and ask you guys, what are the ages that you're here to discuss? Are your kids 12 and under, just starting out of middle school, 13 to 15, or are they 16 and up, perhaps firmly ensconced in that high school? All right, I'll just give you guys 2 more seconds to vote. Perfect. Okay, you guys, so it looks like a lot of you guys are 12 and under. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at Worldbook Student rather than Worldbook Advanced. And again, you can find this all on the super home page when you go through our library website, hcplc.org. I just clicked on Student. And this is really like an encyclopedia that will take kids through their upper elementary school years up through middle school. And it is a very attractive homepage. You can see it has current events, a biography center, featured media. By the way, for Biography Center, there are thousands and thousands of biographies that you guys could check. But I would like to highlight a little bit of the less splashy section. Of course, there is a menu here that shows you everything you can do, including educator tools. But you can actually access the educator tools right from the top here, as well as the sidebar menu. By the way, this might look a little bit different if you guys are using this on a tablet, which Worldbook Student is meant to do. But one thing that you could do is take a look at the curriculum correlations and find articles and activities that Worldbook has for your student. So if you want to see the Florida, let's say 7th grade science correlations, you would actually see the goals and objectives that students have and some suggested activities that Worldbook has. I'm not going to click on submit because it does take about a minute for that to all load. It's quite a lot, but just so you guys know, you do have it there. And something else that you could do is take a look at some lesson plans, professional links, and web quests. These are really fun printable things that you can do. Women in Science, solar eclipse, American Revolution, how to do research. These are PDF files that you guys could print out and have handy. They're really fun to do. They even include crosswords sometimes. So that's something fun that you can do with Worldbook Student. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. But just to give you guys an idea of something that you can mull on and explore in your own time.
Okay. So here are some of the questions that we're always kind of curious about and would love to hear from you on, whether it be during this session or after. We'll have some contact information for you at the end. And that is what's going well. What might you need a little bit of help with that maybe the library could provide, either provide resources for, information for, or maybe a little bit of help on. And then similarly, we always like to hear solutions and life hacks from parents out there with their kids. We're in the business of learning and education as well, and that's something that we feel like we can always benefit from. I'll share one thing for the purposes of tonight's session, because I do have a middle schooler. This year, I have a 6th grader, and there's a number, yes, we're very proud and also very terrified as she gets older and older. But there are a few things that we've started to figure out, even though middle school certainly is challenging academically and in other ways. And one thing I found particularly useful this year is the outline. Writing for the first time in a kind of more serious academic way can be difficult, especially when you're staring at a blank page. Now, sometimes teachers will give additional resources like drawing pictures or framing things out, and sometimes not. But no matter what, on a separate piece of paper, when I'm working with my daughter on writing of some kind, whether it be creative or otherwise, we do an outline. The outline is really essential. I know it sounds like a very basic, obvious thing, but it's sometimes you forget about it. And I really think it's a wonderful thing to employ for a number of different reasons. One is it really helps you flesh out where you want to go with the paper, whether you're making an argument for something or you're telling a story. You can kind of there's a Stephen Covey concept, the 7 habits of highly effective people, that says begin with the end in mind. And that's something you can do with using an outline. Whether you're starting at the very beginning or the end, you can kind of build to where you want to go and write it in a very short, very simple, very actionable way. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's not what you're going to be turning in. And then what's really nice about that is not only are you and your student, your child, not starting out with a blank page, which can be very intimidating, but it also helps you with the sort of fill in the blank type assignment accomplishment, where you do your outline, you got a few basic points, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 or up to 6 or 7 points that you want to make sure you cover, and then you flesh it out with a couple of sort of sub points, and then all of a sudden you've got the start or like the meat of the actual sentence itself. And then it really is just a matter of choosing some words, some adjectives, some different points that you want to make that match that aspect of the outline. And if you stick to it, filling it out becomes so much more easy. And it's not that you can't make changes to it after that, but it gives you kind of a very easy and actionable structure to use. I've used it many times in my life, and it's really gotten me out of jams when I feel like I have no imagination to tackle the writing assignment that I have, whether it be in school or in professional life. It's something I still use. And for my child, in a few instances, it's really been very helpful.
Very nice. That's great to hear. It's funny that you mentioned that, and you guys feel free to type what's going well with you as we're talking to. Speaking of outlines and things like that that don't include a blank, intimidating page, on the resource that we were all just exploring together, which was Worldbook, there is a section where you guys can find some printables that are similar to the outlines and the graphic organizers that are so popular and so handy nowadays. So again, I'm in World Book Student right now. So that's for all middle schoolers and even perhaps upper elementary school, but it could probably be used for anyone. When I click on educator tools, I can actually go to graphic organizers, and I'm going to see some printable templates for all sorts of different tools that we can use in order to better understand material or better solidify the knowledge. You know, as we're writing, we're using our kinetic memory, and that makes it so that the knowledge that we have stays better. So the KWL chart is really great when you're thinking about learning strategies too, Venn diagrams. I actually don't know what a t-shirt is right here, but feel free to explore, you guys, and find some really great PDFs that will take you and your child forward with that. So Matthew, maybe that's something that you guys would like to explore in your own house as well. Let me know if you guys do.
I think we might. Yeah, I think we'll have to start with a t-shirt just because I've never used one of those. So, you know, that sounds perfect. It seems like you put the big ideas in the middle and the tertiary ideas on the side, or peripheral ideas. So that's really great. Well, let's move on to, we'll monitor the boards for additional questions, but let's go ahead and move on to additional resources.
Sure. So you guys feel free to say anything that brings to mind as well. But I think we will go ahead and just briefly highlight a few other things. You might know, if you've attended some sessions with me in the past, that World Book is a fabulous resource. Aside from the student and advanced encyclopedia, you have the Discover section and you have ebook section. And these are books that you can check out without any holds or anything like that on a variety of different topics. And Discover, you see the telescope gazing, you can find a lot of science resources. So those are some other resources in the World Book family that specifically middle school and high school age students could appreciate. As well, if students are having difficulties with their assignments, we do offer through the library access to tutor.com. You guys can chat with a tutor. You guys can also have assignments dropped off, and that is a wonderful service. Of course, you know, schools offer different services, but if you guys are homeschooling or if you guys want to explore everything that the library has already for you, definitely check out tutor.com. Let us know how it goes. Access that through our main page. Gale in Context Middle School is also a really wonderful resource. Gale has a lot of different databases. It's good to become familiar with that. And this is a very easy way for students to get involved with the Gale family, and we have that access as well. If you guys are into science, or if you guys are struggling with science, Science Online with the library card has so many videos, tutorials, interactive experiments that are like click and drag to illustrate science concepts. These are things that are here to help you guys, and if you have any doubts about these, or if you want to know more information about these, you know you can always contact us, right? So these are here for you, and we are also here for you as you help your children and you help the future generation. So just to give you guys a little bit of a taste, try a few and see where it takes you.
Thank you, Melissa. And speaking of contacting us, there's our phone number right there, 813-273-3652. Or you can go to the URL there. That's hcplc.org/contact. Melissa, could you throw that in the chat really quick, just in case? Now, that's a good website because not only does it have the different ways that you can contact us and wait to hear back, but also it has our link to Ask a Librarian. And that's a session that's available. That's a service that's available every day, and that you can really get help from a librarian who can maybe like interact with you or chat with you and try to get to the bottom of what it is that might be useful to you or your family. We also have a number of great upcoming events. We're planning all the way now through the summer, so the calendar will continue to fill up. Just check it back, check back regularly to see if there's something that you might find useful. hcplc.org/events. And then finally, a lot of, if not most, if not all of the resources that were mentioned tonight, you can get to one way or the other on the homework help site. Now you can get there on our website by going to learning and research and looking for homework help, or you can go to hcplc.org/research/homework-help. And like I said, I think the Ask a Librarian service is posted there as well, along with Gale and a number of the other resources that we displayed tonight. So we're just about ready to wrap up here. I want to thank you all for attending tonight, and thank you very much, Melissa.
Thank you, Matthew.
And be sure to get in contact with us if you need anything, if there's anything we can do to help you and your child in their education. It's a challenge, but the library is here for you to help. All right, good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye, everyone.